Hello everyone, my name is Melinda and this is episode 5 of my knitting podcast. Welcome to all of you. If you are here for your first time, a special welcome. If you're returning, thanks for coming back. This is a standard knitting podcast talking about any finished objects, projects I'm working on, perhaps some yarny acquisitions, and a little bit of knitty chat and everything. So if that's something you're interested in, then I hope you stick around. Like I said, my name is Melinda. You can also find me on Instagram and Ravelry as mintknitwear. Yes, I guess you might notice that we are in a different location than usual. It is a bit of a gloomy day here in Wisconsin, so I thought I might move to a different location to see if these big windows in front of me might be a little bit more helpful. So hopefully the lighting is okay despite it being kind of a rainy day, which honestly I'm a fan of. I love the summer like thunderstorms and everything. I don't know if anyone else is in that boat as well. Sip of my afternoon cup of coffee. I have a little baby. Well, she's getting big now, over 9 months old, but she had a bit of a rough night. She's done well to pretty much sleep through the night, but last night was not the case. So we had a full afternoon cup in store for me today. Alrighty. So yes, first things first, what I'm wearing. This is my Ally sweater. I've talked about this just about every episode so far. It was a finished object last week, but I was wearing a different finished object, so I thought I would throw this on for the episode today. This is a pattern by s.knits, Sarah Opie, and she is releasing this next Friday, September 2nd. So I tested this pattern for her. It's a DK weight colorwork sweater. If you want more details, just take a look at one of my other episodes, but this is what it looks like on. It's super nice and cozy. I used Juniper Moon Farms organic merino, 100% merino, and it is very soft next to skin. I'm like roasting a little bit. It's 80 degrees today, so, but I wanted to wear it for the podcast, so we do what we can for our knits. But yes, very warm. I can tell you that much. My face might get redder and redder as the episode goes on, but worth it for sure. Alrighty. So I don't really have a finished object for today. I have one project that I'm gonna like kind of talk a bit more about, but it's a bit of a phased project or kind of ended up as such. So we'll get to that one later. So I guess I will just start with my main work in progress that I've been working through this last week, and that is my Lento. So I'm pretty sure last time we talked, I was just starting or about like halfway through the body. So since then I have finished the body and I'm just plugging away on the sleeves. And this is a pattern that's knit with a strand of fingering and a strand of mohair, but at a really large gauge. I'm trying to remember. I think it's like a 16 stitch gauge for 4 inches, 10 centimeters or something along those lines. So it's knit on US 10 6mm needles, even though it has like the equivalent of a DK weight yarn. So it just works up so quick and it's very satisfying. I talked before how I kind of wanted to do a trial run for my luxury Lento with some hand-dyed yarn that I got from Explorer Knits and Fibers, where I got 2 skeins of Surrey, 2 skeins of MCN merino cashmere nylon that I was going to make one with. The beauty of this project is since it is such a high gauge, you need relatively minimal number of skeins just by the nature of the fabric. So I'm knitting this one in some Lana Grossa silk hair and Whole Super Soft The whole super soft is the truffle colorway. Lana Gross's silk hair. I don't remember what colorway, but you can look back to see what that one is. The mohair itself, I just have a little lump right now, but it's kind of like a bluish gray. And then the Hulst is the multicolored, pretty much, wool. And so the fabric that it's creating is a really cool, like, bluish gray color. There's a lot more dimension, not on the camera, a lot more dimension in real life, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's super fun to work. And I guess one modification I'm doing is I decided just to not do decreases down the sleeves, and I'm just going to do like rapid decrease at the cuff. And then I also made the body longer than the recommendations. And in the pattern as well, it's kind of like a 3/4 length sleeve, but I'm going to do full length sleeves since I have the yarn for it. So my goal is to have this done within the next few days. It's very, very quick, so I don't think that will be too difficult. So that is my Lento current work in progress. Okay, that is like the main garment that I've been working on the last week, and the reason being is my next project I will talk about, which is kind of a combination partly finished object acquisition work in progress situation. So the tale of this one is I had my little niece's birthday this last weekend. She turned 1, so very exciting. And I was like, oh, I want to knit her something cool and have that be her first birthday gift, like something special, handmade for her to have. And I saw somewhere, I think it may have been on the Young Folk Knits podcast. I was watching back through some of her old episodes, catching up ones that I hadn't seen before. And she said that she had knit the little frog and toad creatures. I guess amigurumi is crochet, but they're just like knitted stuffed toys for the like book set. Oh my goodness, this is not going well. But basically, Frog and Toad, I don't know if you've heard of those books before, but they're pretty cute. And so I thought, oh, how sweet would it be to get her like the little book set and then also knit the little Frog and Toad, and that would be a wonderful handmade gift. And so I am a notoriously terrible gift knitter. I make a lot of promises that I don't end up keeping, and I think that I'm getting better, but I want to say that part of the reason is because, like, if I knit a sweater for myself, if there are things wrong with it, I'm okay dealing with that. I was talking with my husband about this, like analyzing, why am I such a poor gift knitter? And I was like, I think that's part of it, where if I gift someone something, I want it to be perfect. Like, I don't want a stitch out of place. I want the sizing to be exact. I want this and this and this. And so I've kind of started getting over that, because like a handmade gift is special. Obviously, if you give someone a sweater that's like way too small and not even wearable, that might not be ideal. But if like the sleeve is an inch longer than maybe they'd prefer, I feel like nobody would actually care. Anyway, so that's me overanalyzing my gift knitting abilities. But yes, I've like given people gifts that are like half finished and being like, I have to finish this like while we're here for Christmas, and then you'll have it. Or some stuff is still unfinished months, years, I don't know, later, and or just never was given, or I started something and ran out of time, or what have you. But long story short, all that whole intro, I was like, okay, for my niece, I'm going to do this well. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to order what I need early so that I have plenty of time to work on it. And by early, I mean that I ordered it so that I thought I would have at least a week to finish this. And if I like focused on it, I was like, oh, this will be just fine for me to complete in that much time. And so, I don't think I have the little papers, but I'll put a photo here of what the little guys look like. And so they're knit on US 1 2.25 millimeter needles using DK weight yarn. So it is a little bit more intense to work on like the thicker yarn with the smaller needles comparatively. And so I knew that it would be like quite a bit of knitting, and there's a lot of shaping and stuff that goes into the pattern as well, but they aren't that big. So I'm like, I can do it. And then the little outfits and everything are super simple as well. So I ordered it so that I would have enough time to have at least like a week to finish. And I'm like, that'll be perfect. Like I'll have a few days for each of the little guys and the clothes, and it'll be great. Well, the yarn and supplies arrived on Thursday afternoon, and the party was Saturday afternoon. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm gonna get this done. And I also had the great idea where I'm like, ooh, let me create a vlog of me making these guys, like challenge accepted. Can I get it done in 48 hours before the party? Spoiler alert, I didn't get everything done, but I was able to finish the little men. I did not actually make like a vlog or anything. I took a handful of videos for it, but then I was like, okay, I just need to focus. And I also ended up staying up way too late Friday night finishing the little critters, and so I was like, I'm like mostly asleep. I can't like video myself in this state, and also I don't want to like waste my precious moments videoing or trying to talk instead of just like getting the work done. So sorry, no Knitty vlog. Maybe I'll put a couple cuts from that though, because it was a bit of a disaster trying to do it anyway. Check the end of the video if you want to see some of my first vloggy attempt. Oh goodness. But anyway, these, I'll throw a photo in here of what the little guys looked like that I made. I did make a couple edits to the pattern, mostly for time's sake, and basically just the eyes. So comparatively, you're supposed to like crochet the little eyes and then you make like eyelids and everything, but I didn't want to take the time for that, and I had some safety eyes on hand, so I just used those guys, and it worked out really well. So the gift that I gave were Frog and Toad naked. They didn't get any clothes in time, but I was proud of myself for accomplishing what I did. The bad part about that was I definitely had like some hand pain because of working DK on such small needles, and like it was pretty intricate, the pattern. Like you literally do short rows in order to make like the kneecaps stick out a little bit. Like there's just like some very small details to do those, which I was like, it was a lot of fun to do, but under pressure was a little bit more stressful, and I couldn't take as many breaks because I was trying to do it so fast. So I was able to finish both Frog and Toad, and that was a nice enough gift in and of itself, but I still am going to finish the clothes and everything and just send those along later. So quite the tale of that gift knit, and I was very frustrated because I was like, oh my goodness, like usually it's my fault, like I start the project too late or I don't get the materials in time or whatever. I just like do other things instead of my gift knits, so then they're not done. But I was like, this is the one time where I like planned in order to have plenty of time and be able to finish it. And it's like the fact that I got those done in essentially 24 hours, because I guess more than that, but like stayed up just late on Friday night and then got the little animals done. I was like, okay, I'm happy with this. I'm not gonna like scramble before the party on Saturday to finish the clothes or whatever. And I should also go to bed, so I was like, but it's not actually my fault this time. So a little bit frustrating, but it's fine. And also, I think I may have like just misread or misunderstood what the shipping timelines would have been. And I feel like things are a little bit off these days anyway. So no fault to the place I ordered it from, which I'll talk about here in a second. But sorry, that was a long-winded tale of my little Frog and Toad making. But I will show you what I still have yet to work on and talk about the yarn and everything as well. I thought I had the little paper, but I guess I don't. So I got a kit from Stranded by the Sea, and the reason that I did that was there are like a bunch of different clothes and things that you make, and like it came with the stuffing and all of that. So I was like, okay, rather than buying more than I need, and like obviously this is why you buy the kit, you don't have extras of what you don't need, and like to make the little eyeballs you just need like a few grams of white or what have you. And so it came with like 50 grams of the green, 50 grams of the tan to make the frog and toad bodies. And then it also came with oh yes, I guess I can show the leftovers, crinkling a bit. So this was the green and the tan colorways to make the bodies for frog and toad. And these two are Cascade 220 Superwash DK, Superwash Merino DK. I think it's Merino. So yes, this was also really pleasant to work with. I feel like I actually haven't worked with Cascade 220 before, and so I thought, nice, I might have to use this for other like gift knits for using superwash wool. But those were what the body was made out of. And then the clothing, it came on these, sorry, I'm going to crinkle again. Oh, I guess I'll just show this while I'm crinkling. But the stuffing that it came with were like buckwheat shells. And I still have like half the bag left based on what I made. So definitely plenty of materials. I actually might have enough to make like just slightly smaller frog and toad and stuff them and everything. I don't know about the clothes yet, obviously, because I haven't finished those, but I can make those for my daughter. So we shall see. But the yarn for the actual clothes are made from Jameson and Smith. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it came on the most adorable little frog spools. Like, I couldn't get over this when I opened the package. And so the frog has like his little jacket and pants. And so I think, yes, this is his jacket is the like orangey brown, and then the pants are just this other brown. And then Toad has like a little swimsuit, I guess. It's like a stripy jumper looking thing. And that's on these guys. So, oh my gosh, the tiny frogs. I just couldn't get over that. The spools that these are wound up on. So I haven't started these. I have started Frog's jacket. Dun, dun, dun. And this is what I have so far. I'm working on the body now. I do have the sleeves. And then, yes, I joined under the arms for the body, and I'm working back and forth for his little coat. And then I think you just have to do the sleeves, and that's all. So it's like so fun and very satisfying, but obviously working with like tiny needles, so it takes a little bit of time. But this is much easier, just a little close, because this is, I don't know if this is fingering weight. I think it's fingering weight. It kind of looks more like fingering weight. But the clothes are definitely at like a normal gauge compared to what the bodies were, where it just was so dense. So I'm like prying everything through. But obviously to be able to stuff it, you have to have the denser gauge, and then they have like some structure to them and not just flimsy. So it was a lot of fun to make. I just wish I had a little bit more time so that I wasn't wearing my hands out, because my wrists and fingers were getting sore, and I was like, I have to finish them though. And I'm like, but I don't want to get injured, because I have heard some stories about people like actually getting injuries or tendonitis or whatever. So I don't want that to happen. But yes, that's what we've got so far. So I'm not in a rush to finish this part of it, but obviously want to do it at some point to finish off the gift. I didn't actually tell them that there's more coming, because I was like, I don't need to have this be all about me being a poor gift knitter. And the little stuffed animals, like, those are pretty cute, and these will just be like special add-ons in the future, despite what my initial plan was. So I have my bowl of all of the items here that I've been just throwing the little kit into. So That was a lot of fun, and I feel like it is a very sweet gift, like the little book set with the animals to go along with it so they can kind of like play with them as you read the story or whatever it is. So if you have little ones in your life, I would recommend that. It was a lot of fun to put together. The pattern came, you had to purchase that separately from the kit, but it's like very well written and not something that I could ever come up with on my own or would want to take the time to do for like designing something like that. And so the pattern was great and perfect, and having the smaller quantities of all the necessary things was great too. So I'll link both of the things, the link to the shop where I bought the kit from, as well as link to the pattern, as well. And you can find those in the description box below. But yes, that is mostly what I've been working on. And so I guess part of the reason I don't have a ton of content to share is because we had that birthday party. So we were out of town for the weekend, and then I was focusing on those little creatures for a couple days. Then I ended up taking all of Sunday, like our driving time and everything, off just so I could give my hands and wrists a break and not push myself to knit too much. And then also one of my sisters came to visit this week, so I wasn't knitting as much either. So it's fine. I didn't get as much knitting time, but I had a lot of really awesome time with family, so that was great. I might do a little more knitty chat toward the end to talk about the party because there was some fun stuff there. So we'll save that for later though. So yes, Frog and Toad are finished and gifted. Frog and Toad's clothing items are still a whip, but no rush to complete those. And those will be sent off in the future. So cool. Finished object, I guess that was acquired in since last time as well. And then we'll probably have future updates on there. Awesome. So I do have another acquisition. I'm gonna crinkle. Here we go. I feel like I never mind when people crinkle in podcasts, but people always announce that they're crinkling, so I feel the need to announce. But I don't know if it actually bothers anyone or not. So crinkle, sorry if that bothers you. This was a long time ago. I honestly don't actually remember applying, but apparently I applied to sample knit for Sorella yarn. They're an indie dyer. Ashley started out just like solo indie dyeing and then like brought her sister on, and now they have like a whole company where they employ a bunch of people and they call them yarn fairies, which I just feel like is so sweet. The yarn fairies. But they have some pretty solid yarn. Some of it is not really my style. As many of you have noticed, I'm definitely more of a like solid color, neutral, lots of browns. And they do a lot more like girly, not girly necessarily, but like colorful, multicolored, bright or pastel-y kind of things. And so I do have some of their other yarn, but I'm just very distracted today. Maybe I'm a little sleepy. More coffee. Oh, bother. But yes, so their tonals. That's like what I am a really big fan of now, is so many indie dyers. It's like they launched the collection. It's been 8 minutes and it's sold out, and you can't get anything for another 12 weeks because that's the turnaround time. And so I recognize, like, I'm not asking anybody to overwork themselves or all of a sudden become like a crazy business where you don't actually like touch the yarn or do whatever. Like, I recognize the challenges, and I'm never like upset if I don't get anything or I'm not there in time or whatever it is, because I don't want them to get burnt out and then we won't get any yarn. So anyway, but I feel like Sorella has done a really cool thing where they've structured their business so that they always have, like, they'll launch collections so many times a year, but then they actually have in-stock tonals that you can purchase. So you get like that wonderful quality hand-dyed yarn, but you don't have to be like on your computer at 7 o'clock right away with your login and your payment info already in there in order to try to get yarn as fast as you can. And I just am like, whew, that's overwhelming for me. So I usually don't even try. And it's like, oh, if I see that it's still listed an hour later, then I'll hop on and might get something. But anyway, so their tonals really interest me. And so I was like, oh, I would love to sample knit, because the way the program works is they send you the yarn, you knit the pattern up, they'll provide like the pattern, the yarn, and everything. You need like your own needles and all that, but of course. And then you'll mail it back, and then once they receive it, then you will get like shop credit, the equivalent of whatever project you made. So if you're like doing a shawl or something that's 2 skeins, you get credited for 2 skeins of their yarn. And so I agreed to knit the Fantasyland sweater, which is a design by Ashley. I can pop a picture in their yarn. And so I got that a few days ago. So I will show you what the sample would be knit up in. And just for clarity, I did make sure that it's okay that I show this and like share on social media or whatever, and on YouTube about it. So it's not like a secret, and I like got approval to show. I don't know like exactly what these colors are even, or if they're like in stock tonals, or what exactly they're going to be part of a collection, but I don't know the names or anything. So I guess you'll have to look and find out there. But I do know, crinkle. Okay, so the sweater itself is circular yoke, and it has like stripes going down, mostly stockinette, and then the different colored stripes. So the sample that they want knit up, oh, this guy came undone. The main color is just their bare yarn, and this is their DK base. It is so dang soft. It's really nice. But the main color is just the bare yarn. So I think I'm doing the size large. I have all the details, just not off the top of my head. So knitting up the size large. So there are 4 skeins of the bare yarn. And then the 3 colored stripes are going to be these guys. Oh, that's pretty good actually. So this guy is like a golden orange color, very similar to the wood. Then this one is like a very rich tealy blue. Well, it's blue but just leans a little bit teal, so that's nice. And then this is like a pine green. It might not look exactly greenish on camera, but so these are the 3 colors for the stripes, and then the bare yarn is for the background. So I've never actually sampled it for anyone before, but I've always been intrigued to do it. But I'm excited to do this, and more excited to get my credits so that I can get some of their in-stock tonals. And I already am thinking like, do I get more Surrey and fingering weight to make more lentos? Because that sounds like something I would like to do. But yes, so this is an acquisition-ish. I mean, yes, I acquired this yarn. I don't keep this. I will send it back. But then I guess that's like foreshadowing for future acquisitions once I finish it. So I will definitely be casting this on. I'll probably wind this up today and see if I can at least swatch so that I can have that dry and get started on that this weekend. Very fun. But yes, there's a time frame. I think they said like 4 to 6 weeks turnaround time, so that should be plenty for the DK weight sweater. And I don't know. That'll be cool. And then we'll see if I'll make one of my own or do something else with my credit that I get for doing this. So it's kind of fun if you have the opportunity. I don't know why I'm advertising, but I will let you know how the process goes to see kind of what it's like. It's been fun so far, opening yarn, knowing that I get to get more yarn and not like actually pay dollars for it. Wonderful. Okay, so that's really the meat of it. I think I will show or have like a couple announcement kind of things. And then might do a little bit of Knitty chat. And then I'll throw my failure of Frog and Toad vlogging content at the end. So if you're happy with that, feel free to roll off. But wait one more second at least. So I talked about this last week, finished object and tester call. This is my Joan sweater, which is worsted weight raglan design. The tester call is currently open. I have it open till, or said I was leaving it open through today, Thursday, August 25th. And so I am going to go through applications tomorrow and select testers and let everybody know by the end of the day tomorrow who has been selected. I have had applications for all sizes and some multiples and everything, which this tester application has gone so much better than my first one, which is just like very thrilling to be like, okay, we're like moving in the right direction. Because my first tester application, I did not get very many apply, and I had a lot of people ghost me, which was very sad. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time, but I already have some ideas for how to make it a significantly better process. But yes, there are a couple sizes, the two largest sizes. So I'm going to look it up just to make sure that I have it accurate. But yes, I'm missing, I don't currently have any applications for the 64 or 68 inch finished bust circumference. So it's 6 to 8 inches of recommended positive ease, 15 to 20 centimeters. And so I don't have any applications for the 64 or 68 inch bust, 163 or 173 centimeters. So if you are somebody who has those sizes, or has someone you can knit that size for, or if you know somebody who might be interested, I would love it if you share this with them, even if it's not like by midnight tonight or whatever, midnight August 25th. If someone gets in touch with me after the fact and we can work out a timeline. If I do not get anybody for that, I think I will do what I've heard people doing before, where we'll just test all the sizes as they are. And then when I post the actual pattern on Ravelry, I've heard that designers have said, like, this has been tested through this size. If you're interested in knitting up size 8 or 9, these bust measurements, then just like contact me and I'd love to send you the pattern in return for some feedback on working through it. So that's my plan. If I end up not getting applicants for those two sizes, we'll just move forward with the test. And if I find people along the way, obviously you can work out a different time frame for it, but plan to like make it clear, obviously, that those couple sizes haven't been tested. So that is my plan. But if you know anybody, or if you are somebody who would be willing to test one of those sizes, I would love to have you. And if you see this, I'll probably be working through these and sending out the notification and the pattern tomorrow afternoon. So Friday, August 26th. So if you get your application in before that point in time, then I will still see that and everything. But yes, so that's the Joan sweater. More details in my prior podcasts, but testing will begin tomorrow. So that's a lot of fun. I'm very excited for this one. And like I've mentioned, I'd like to knit up another sample. So I think I'll be knitting up my other one along with the testers, just to kind of work along with everybody. I think that might be fun. And do that one without the pockets. So, and I guess for my testing, I'm happy if you want to make different modifications. Like I know some testers have asked if they're okay to do it without the pockets or make the pockets kind of a different shape or whatever. And that's typically fine with me, as long as the updates you're making, number one, you let me know what they are. Number two, they don't like ruin the integrity of what my design is. Mostly because like I would say probably wouldn't want someone to make like a short sleeve version, because part of it is also making sure that the yarn requirements are okay. So pockets, that's easy enough for me to figure out, but doing short sleeves or something like that, that's a little more challenging for me to make sure that everything on my end is good for anybody else who wants to make it. So yes, that is the game plan there. But if you're interested, I'll have that application linked below, or if you're seeing this in the future, then it might be the pattern release, or if you're one of the larger sizes, like either submit that application, or you can just shoot me an email to be like, hey, I'd love to test the size 8 or 9 for you, and we will work that out. So Joan sweater, still looking for testers, but I will be notifying starting August 26th. And that is that. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna uncover this and grab my Lento so we can do a little bit of Knitty chat. Okay, so we have, oh my goodness, of course everything's like all twisted up. I could have made this a lot easier. And my mohair, oh no. But yes, so I've also been working on getting the pattern squared away to make sure that it's ready to be sent out tomorrow. So that's also something else I've been doing this week. I've talked about before how I am a fan of math, and so getting to do the grading for this has definitely been a lot easier than my yoked sweater, the Francis pullover, my first one, just because that one, like with the different motifs on the yoke design, they required like the specific number of stitches. So obviously I still need to get like the sizes and everything, but making accommodations to get the appropriate sizes with a raglan, where it's just essentially stockinette minus the cuffs and everything, is significantly easier than trying to get like the multiples of 6 or whatever multiples I needed to do for the other one. Oh, good gracious, we are all twisted up. My baby may have gotten a hold of my mohair earlier today and was playing with it. It's so hard to stop her because it's so dang cute. But then I'm like, now I'm sitting here spending time untangling instead of spending time knitting. Da-da-da. Oh well. So yes, writing this one up has been a lot of fun and easier than my other one, so that's been a little more satisfying. I mean, the first one was fun, of course, but it was just like a little more challenging to make sure all the numbers worked out for all the different sizes, and we got like within the appropriate ranges and everything for the yoke increasing and all that jazz. But yes, so let's see, for the birthday party I had for my niece, one of my other sisters and I planned it, and so that was a lot of fun to put together. We decided to go with a Lisa Frank theme. That was my sister's idea. Good old 90s babies, embracing the Lisa Frank theme for the 2020s baby, and that ended up being really funny. We had like some great decor that had all like the animal print rainbow going on, and then we also encouraged everybody to wear their best like neon colorful whatever attire, which some people definitely got that. I found this romper on Amazon that was like leopard print rainbow colored silliness, and so that was a lot of fun. And it was also funny because it's just like was totally out of my wheelhouse, but of course you have to do it for the theme. And I like kind of forgot I was wearing it until we took a photo with a bunch of my family members, and then I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so obnoxious. So that was pretty funny. But the party was a ton of fun. We kept it like fairly low key, just had like little snacks, charcuterie type things, everything a 1-year-old would want, charcuterie. And we also played a game that ended up being a ton of fun, which some of you may have heard of something like this before, but I've heard it called like bucket of nouns, bowl of nouns, fish bowl, many different things. And essentially, it's like a mixture of a few different games. So what you do is have a ton of little slips of paper, and the usual way that you play is you'd be in like a group of however many people, and then you might have like a certain category or just like a whatever random thing where you write a noun down and you put it in the bucket. So I might write something like blue balloon. I don't know, that's random. Or knitting needles, maybe that too. And so you put all of that into the bowl, and everybody throws in like at least one idea in there. And then you split up into two different teams. And then with the two teams, you alternate going back and forth, and you have 1 minute to guess as many of those words as you can. And so there are 3 different rounds within the game, where the first round you play it like you would catchphrase, where you have like whatever the word is, you try to describe it without using the words that are in the clue itself, or give clues that aren't actually in the phrase or the object or whatever is written down. So blue balloon might be like, oh, the color of the sky, and then they know blue, and then it's like, this is the thing that you blow up and it floats, and balloon. Okay, blue balloon, got it. Move on to the next one. So you have a minute to guess as many of those words as you can with your team. And then once your minute is up, then it goes to the other team and they guess as many as they can, and you keep alternating back and forth until all the words are done, or like have been guessed from the bowl. And so once they've all been guessed, you tally up how many each team got, and then you move on to round 2. Round 2, you play it like charades. Oh. My husband is home from work and it's very early. So I'm going to have to stop so that I'm not talking at the camera. Bonk. Okay, pause. Okay, we're back. It's a little while later. I have changed. My husband got home and I was very nervous when he came up. I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know, it's enough to just like talk at a camera for a while, but then to have someone else hear while you're talking at a camera, that's even more. And then my baby woke up from her nap. She's staring at me right now. So there might be some ruckus in the background, but basically I just wanted to wrap this up quickly so I could get it edited and posted yet today. Okay, this is silly to like come back to my Knitty chat, but I feel like I need to finish explaining the game. So after the first round, where it's like a catchphrase, then the second round you put all the words back into the bowl, and then whichever team was going, they finish out their minute with oh my gosh, I feel so silly, but they finish out their time with the next round, which is charades. And so you've already like been familiarized with all the words that are there, so now you try to act them out and guess them. Same idea, guess as many as you can in the minute and then pass it back and forth. And then once you get through all of the words again for the charades time, then the third round is just a single word. So like if we go back to my example of blue balloon, then maybe you might say something like float, and then that would trigger your memory to be like, oh, that could be a blue balloon, which is one of the words. Since you've already heard it twice, you're already familiar, so that one word hopefully triggers somebody to guess. And you can guess as many times as you need to, but you can only say that one word and go through as many as you can. So I made a whole list of like things related to my niece / first birthdays / babies and things, and so everybody like got to do all of those, and it was a lot of fun. And my tiny one is going to move the camera. That's why it's wiggling, is because it's sitting on a stand and she's wiggling that. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna wrap this up quickly. So now she's just like grinning at me. Oh my goodness. Tester application in the bio. More will happen next week. Hopefully it won't be as scattered and sleepless and everything going on. But then I guess the final thing, something that's bringing me joy, like I mentioned, one of my sisters got to visit. So she was here Monday through today. So Monday through Thursday, we just got to hang out, spend time together. She is currently out in California. And so I don't get to see her as often as when she lived in the Midwest as well. So definitely nice to just spend some time with her, and she got to hang out with the baby and everything. So lots of fun there. Had a great time with her all week this week. So yes, looking at my notes to make sure I have everything there. All right, I think that about covers it. We'll wrap this up. I pray that you are also finding joy in your life. If you have anything you want to share with me, I love reading the comments and interacting with all of you there. So feel free to leave one below about what you're knitting on or something that is bringing you joy in your life. And I will sign off here because my child currently has my charger in her mouth. So, all right, time to go. Happy knitting to you all. Bye.